Hi, has it been long enough? Do you want to wait a bit longer to let the album settle in, or are we diving deep? It's not been long enough for me. Hasn't settled in yet. Hello humans, my name is Shimon. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and if you are, I talk about books, movies, TV shows, pop culture, anything and everything in between, so subscribe if you'd like to join in on that conversation. If that intro sounded really rushed, yeah, I think I had like 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm running on 3 cups of tea right now. I'm hyped to such a degree because Taylor Swift just dropped a surprise album. She gave us 16-hour notice for a 16-track album because she's Taylor Swift. What did you expect? I'm not ready to discuss, but we're gonna do it anyway because holy macaroni, this album. I have my notes in my Virgo notebook. I have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7.5 pages of notes. Taylor never does surprise albums. In her 14 years of being in the music industry, she has never dropped anything as a surprise other than the Christmas Tree Farm song Last Christmas. It's called Folklore. I haven't even said the name of the album. The lead single is Cardigan, which is the music video, which I will talk about as well. It's an alternative pop, rock, country, indie, folk album, basically completely different from what we've heard from Taylor so far. The closest that we've come to it would be Red. It is getting amazing critical acclaim. Also, I did record a few of my reactions while I was listening to it for the first time, but the main video is not going to be a reaction. This is a review, just so you know before you go into it, before like what you're getting yourself into. So I started the album. I didn't even look through the track list before I just hit play, and it is explicit. There are 5 explicit tracks. If Taylor drops the F-bomb, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I might have a breakdown. So far, I love it. I'm just trying to listen to the production, just listen to the whole song right now and not break. The One is the first song. This is either my favorite or second favorite Taylor Swift track one of all time, right next to State of Grace. Anyway, she swore. I know she has said before, but it's just weird every time I hear her say it. I should be used to it after watching Miss Americana, but apparently I'm not. There are very cinematic lyrics in the song. It just creates an imagery in your mind. I love it. I can't fault it. Very relatable lyrics, as usual. It's Taylor Swift, what are you gonna expect? This is Taylor's lyricism at its best. Also in the second verse, there's that one point where there's a country twang in her voice. I like that. So it's kind of about reminiscing about lost love. What would have happened if we did this differently? My favorite lyric in the song is, "If you never bleed, you're never gonna grow." I love that, and I give this 82% out of 100. Don't see me. I don't have the lyrics memorized yet, okay? I just watched the Cardigan music video. It was so beautiful. You could follow the theme through, but because obviously this is still my first time watching it, I haven't been able to break down anything. The song is amazing. I'm living for the genre, I'm living for production, and I'm living for the lyrics. After first listen of Cardigan, when I watched the music video, it sounded like a love song, and now it's really odd because I don't know, it's not exactly the happiest song. Anyway, track 2 is Cardigan, which is the lead single. From the first lyric, you kind of go into it seeing what the album's gonna be about, because the first lyric is vintage tea, brand new phone. So there's like a parallel between young and old, which is basically what this album is. It's Taylor's old roots, like country roots and like songwriting, singer roots, added with her new maturity that she gained through her life experiences. Also, she all of a sudden is talking about black lipsticks rather than red lipsticks. What's that about? So it's about young teenage love that then comes back. There's a theory about this. Stay tuned. Did I cry listening to this one? I don't know. I don't even remember what happened this morning when I was listening to it. Like, my brain's blank right now. It also kind of shows how simple young love can be. Like, you know, when you're a teenager, it's just they either like me or they don't like me. Adult relationships can be a lot more complicated than that, but it's kind of refreshing to see Taylor write about this again. Feels like fearless lyrics, fearless speak now lyrics, but like lover era Taylor. A lot of the songs, they have different structure. You know, normally you have verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, bridge if you're Taylor Swift. I'm kidding, I know Taylor's not the only artist who does bridges. Why is the lighting so weird? We're gonna have to deal with it. I'm broke. Also, Does the end of the bridge where she goes, "You'll be back at my porch," you know the part I'm talking about, does that give anyone else the major "You'll Be Back" vibes? You know the "You'll Be Back" song from Hamilton? Let's talk about the music video really quickly. It starts off with Taylor in this old cottage next to a fireplace playing an old piano, and she opens the piano and the piano has like gold vapor coming out. She goes to a really nice forest woodsy place where she plays another piano. Then she goes into the piano again, where now she's in a very tumultuous ocean where there's a storm and she's kind of holding onto the piano to keep her afloat. I feel like we understand that metaphor perfectly. And then she goes into the piano again and she's back at that old cottage. Now, a lot of people have pointed this out already, but I'm just gonna say it, that it looks like that the first scene is about how she was doing her own thing. She's writing her own music, like during the Taylor Swift Fearless Speak Now era, I would say. And then you had the Red 1989 era where she kind of blew up. That was, you know, that was her peak, I would say. Like commercially, that was Taylor's peak. Then we go into the ocean scene where, you know, there's a storm and she's trying to hold on to the piano to keep her afloat, which is basically after 2016, it was music that kept her afloat. It was music that kept her going. But then she's back at the old cottage, which is, I think, signifying this era, the folklore era, where she's basically going back to her old roots. Also, I don't know if anyone saw this, but there's gold vapor pouring out of the piano every time she's going into, every time she opens it. You know, if it's something's gold, it's enchanting, that you want to go and explore it. It's showing how the music industry is very magnetic to people, but then it's not always going to be a positive thing. Like the opportunities you're getting in the music industry is not going to be always positive. It looks positive at the start though. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. I gave the song 93%. My favorite lyric was, I wrote everything down because I don't remember anything, but "You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding." Basically like how this person was looking at her scars and showing her that she's beautiful because of her scars, but now she's bleeding because of that. So that person, the same person, hurt her. Yikes. Okay, so my claimed track, The Last Great American Dynasty, there's a lot going on and I had to restart it. I already love it. I already love it. Track 3 are always the best. So the next song is The Last Great American Dynasty. Is apparently about the person who owned her how do you say that? Rhode Island? I'm gonna say Rhode Island. Rhode Island home. She was married to someone from a really rich family, so he was the heir to everything. And then when he died, she got all of his money. This is basically The Man 2.0 in my opinion, where she is talking about sexism but in a very subtle way. It's kind of showing how Rebecca was basically blamed for everything that happened with the family, which is really weird because Rebecca was probably just grieving for her husband. She needed help. That was her coping mechanism, and the town didn't really give her the benefit of the doubt, and Taylor relates to that. Favorite lyric from the song is, "Holiday house sat quietly on that beach, free of women with madness, the men and bad habits, and then it was bought by me." That's when like I was listening to the song in the morning and I just had chills all the way up and down my back when I read that. She did not just write an entire song about the previous owner of her house. Who does that? Taylor Swift apparently. Oh no, I almost crumpled the page. Oh, I gave it 83%. Okay, oh my god. I was crying. I just finished listening to Exile. It's my favorite so far. I have chills. It reminds me of the last time. It's just sad. It's just sad. Okay, next track, number 4 is Exile featuring, I'm gonna butcher that name as well, Bon Iver. If it wasn't clear from that montage, that is probably my favorite. It's in the top 2. Exile is my top 2, one of my top 2 songs. It's the sequel to Last Time. The Last Time was about trying to fix that relationship. Exile is about how you tried to fix that relationship, it didn't work, and now you just have 2 bitter ex-lovers who are singing to each other, like over each other over and over and over again. It's amazing. Oh my god, I love this song. The harmonies are great. You can clearly tell like how the relationship fell apart. It's because of poor communication, because he's like, well, you never really told me what to do. I gave you so many signs. No, you know you didn't. You never gave a warning sign. I gave you so many signs. I can talk about the song for hours and hours. I love it. And also you can tell the relationship was beautiful at one point in time, because you were my crown, now I'm in exile seeing you out. I love this song so much. Oh, and the back and forth harmonies. I gave so many. The harmony, the melody, the harmony, the chord progression, the production. The song is perfect. This is what my music taste is in a song. I said it. Also, how when they start going back and forth in the bridge, I feel like that I don't know what to do with my body when that starts happening. My favorite lyric is, so step right out, there's no amount of crying I can do for you. And also, there's one part where she says, so I'm leaving out the side door, which makes you think, did someone cheat? Is that how the relationship fell apart as well? Anyway, I give it 98%. So the next song is My Tears Ricochet, which is track 5. I'm not ready for this. I'm terrified, and I don't want to go into it. I just listened. Oh god, that wasn't a good idea. I only listened to the first verse and chorus, and now I'm crying. So we have a new track 5. I remember the first thing that I thought about when like we saw the album announcement was that we're gonna have a new track 5. Track 5 is called My Tears Ricochet. The title alone, I'm like, how much am I gonna cry? I cried twice. How many times did I cry listening to Exile? I think once. In total, I remember, in total I cried like 10 times listening to this album. The harmonies at the beginning took my soul. Also, is this she talks about the imagery of death a lot. I don't know if someone actually died or did he just say something like you're dead to me, because she says if I'm dead to you, why you're at the wake. They're obviously, both of them are really bitter about each other, so you can tell that they both still love each other, because you have lyrics like, you're cursing my name, wishing I stayed, look at how my tears ricochet. So he still wishes, or she still wishes, that this person was still there. And my favorite lyric is, we gather stones, never knowing what they'll mean, some to throw, some to make a diamond ring. Did you get it? Track 6 is Mirrorball. After the initial listen, it wasn't my favorite of the album. Like, I wasn't really digging it. And then I listened to the lyrics a little more deeply. And then I was like, oh my god, the commentary in this. That's the thing with Taylor Swift albums. Because I'm like, I will listen to it like first time around. And I'm like, okay, these songs are clearly better. And I listen to it again. And then I have different favorites. And then I listen to it again. And the favorites change again. And like over and over and over again. This happens all the time. Like, I'm still listening to Reputation and I'm like, which songs are actually my favorite, because I have no idea. So what I think Mirrorball is about is a social commentary on how we see the celebrities. So they're the disco ball, so they're life of the party. Disco ball is the metaphor for celebrities. They're the life of the party when there are people around, so they will light up, but when there aren't any people around, they will just be dark. So celebrities are nothing without us. This theory could be so off, but that's what I'm getting from the song. It doesn't necessarily have to be right or wrong, you don't have to necessarily agree, this is just what I think. She talks about how the end is near, but I'm still on my tallest tiptoes, I'm still spinning in my highest heels. So even if the celebrities' careers, they're about to end, they will still do everything. And again, this comes in the bridge as well. They're still trying everything to keep your attention, to keep you looking at them. Where I think this song goes a little deeper is when Taylor talks about how I'm mirrorball and I'll show you every version of yourself tonight. So I think what she's trying to say is that the people we hold up in society, the people we celebrate, they are a mirror for us. It says more about us as a society than them. The celebrities that we hold dear to us, they show something about ourselves, which is genius. Someone tell me if you think I'm wrong or if you have any other idea. I would love to know about it in the comment section. So verse 2 goes, I can change everything about me to fit in. You're not like the regulars, the masquerade revelers, drunk as they watch my shattered edges glisten. Oh, this also goes back to the whole celebrity theory, where even if a celebrity is taken down, we as a society, we like watching that. We like drama, we like tea. Even if someone's career, even if someone's life is being destroyed. But her friends, they're not like that. My favorite lyric is that one, and I gave the song 17%. Track 7 is called 7, Taylor Swift, Her Mind. It's about her reminiscing about her childhood friends, and about how you often forget about your childhood friends, but you don't really forget about the fun you had. You don't forget about how much you loved them. I love this, and I also love the lyric, I think your house is haunted, your dad is always mad, that must be why. I mean, do we need to go into it or do we understand? Give the song 94%. I love it. I don't know what else to say about this song. I love this song. I love the melody. I love her vocals, the high voice that she goes into. Okay, I was listening to August trying to stop because I'm crying too hard. It's just a story of lost love and I don't know what to do with myself. The second chorus kind of like goes muted and the song comes back in the bridge of the song, which Taylor's never done before. That's something new. These songs sound like Taylor but also don't sound like Taylor. Oh my god, I started crying. Another different thing that she's doing is there are lots of outros, the lyric in this one. Back when I was living for the hope of it all, for the hope of it all, and now I'm sad. So track 8 is August, 8th month of the year. August is another one of my absolute favorites. I love this song. I love the lyricism. I love the way she weaves a story into this. A summer love that was doomed from the start. A summer lost love. It could have also been like you can relate it to a situationship where you're like, oh, are we in a relationship or are we not in a relationship? Or cheating, which we'll get back to. My favorite lyric is literally the entire bridge. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The entire bridge, the entire outro, where she says, back when we were still changing for the better, waiting was enough, for me it was enough. To live for the hope of it all, cancelled plans just in case you'd call and say meet me behind the mall. So much for summer love and saying us, cause you weren't mine to lose. You weren't mine to lose, no. It's so sad and desperate, but somehow she makes it feel whimsical with the way she sings it, with the lyricism. Should I give it 95%? I think I'll give it 95%. Track 9 is called This Is Me Trying, and to me, This Is Me Trying is tailored to her fans. I think it's predominantly about her anxiety between 1989 and her reputation. If you are in the public eye for this long, you would develop that anxiety anyway. She's worried about how the industry and the general public will view her, if they will still accept her back into the music industry or not. And she also recognizes her own legacy and she knows that she has a lot to live up to. She has a really, like, people expect a lot from Taylor. God forbid her album goes number 2, but she's saying that I'm trying to meet those expectations, but I'm still human and I might not be able to, and I need you to forgive me for that. Now, I have a really weird theory from the lyric curve became a sphere. I think she thought that she was ahead of the curve, as she says, but the curve then became a sphere, as in like she's just going around and round and round doing the same thing over and over again, whereas her classmates are somewhere else entirely. The light just became really weird. I'm sorry, British weather is really weird. It's like a teenage girl on her period. At the end of verse 2, she says that pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. So writing her music and sharing them with the world is her coping mechanism. But if she didn't have that, she probably would have turned to alcohol. My favorite lyric from the song is my words shoot to kill when I'm mad, and I gave it 88%. I didn't realize I was crying this much. But Taylor Swift wrote this album with me in mind, because why am I relating to every single track? I'm a mess after this one. If you can't tell yet, that's another one of my favorites. Track number 10 is Illicit Affairs. Love this song with my entire heart. Cried a few times. It's about a secret love affair. The high notes in this, they're beautiful. They're angelic to my ears. I love them. My favorite lyric is basically the entire bridge. I don't know what to tell you. I give the song 93%. Invisible String is basically, I think, to me, it's a cute soulmate song about her and Joe. There's also this theme running through of the red thread of fate, and if you don't know what the red thread of fate is, it's a belief in the Eastern Asian culture that you have this thread connecting you to your soulmate with your pinky. The thread will always pull you two together, so the thread can stretch, it can tangle, but it will never break. You two will like meet again at some point in time. That's what this song reminds me of. My favorite lyric is the start and the end of the bridge. A string that pulled me out of all the wrong arms, right into that dive bar. One single thread of gold tied me to you. I'm fine. I'm not lonely. I gave the song 95%. Track 12 is Mad Woman. I think it's basically about her fighting back. It's her defending herself from everyone who has hated her. I want to say that this song is about Scott Burchett and Scooter Braun, but it could also be about Kim and Kanye. She dropped the F-bomb in this, so that's great. She said you forever, so that's gonna be my new insult. There's also a lyric in this song that says you took everything away from me, which I'm guessing is about her old album Scott Burchett and Scooter Braun taking everything away from her. I think there is a deeper line going through the song. It was at the end of verse 2 where she says that, oh, wives are supposed to be supportive and your wife should be scathing just like I am, but she's not saying anything. And I think it kind of shows how society views women who are sharing a negative opinion. They kind of like look at them as they're just being angry, they're just being hateful. Probably explains why the wife isn't speaking up, because she's afraid of being portrayed that way. My favorite lyric is the end of verse 2 where she said, and women like hunting witches too, doing your dirtiest work for you. It's obvious that wanting me dead has really brought you two together. What a cute love story. And I gave the song 89%. Track number 13 is Epiphany, and I feel like this could have easily been track 5, and the only reason it wasn't track 5 is because it isn't really about her. To me, this song is about soldiers and the medics who are working in the hospitals right now during this time, and it sounds like a full-on funeral song. I want this song played at my funeral. I want to hear this song when I'm at the gates of heaven, or hell, depending on how you see it. And my favorite lyric is the bridge or the outro of the song where it goes, only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany, just one single glimpse of relief to make sense of what you've seen. Kind of really shows through what soldiers and doctors go through. And I give the song 80%. Track number 14 is Betty, which is from the perspective of a very douchey boyfriend who cheated on his girlfriend and is now trying to apologize. He's 17, you know what the song's gonna be like, but it's so nostalgic. It feels like it could fit right into fetus. I love this song so much. It is so good. The production is so good. The harmonica makes me feel like I'm in somewhere in Mediterranean and I'm like sipping like orange juice or lemonade, sitting next to the beach. That's what this song feels like with the harmonica. Also, when she said you heard the rumor from Inej, I was like, everyone who has read Six of Crows, I haven't read Six of Crows yet, I want to read it, but there's a character called Inej in Six of Crows and I was like, oh my god. But no, apparently it's just Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kids' names are in this. So James and Inej, they're both their kids' names. Verse 2 really shows how much of an idiot and douche James is, because he's like, well, you were dancing with another guy in the party, and I'm just here like, yeah, but you left her at that party. Also, when he says stupid friends, I'm like, yeah, you're a douche. My favorite lyric, I think, is the outro. I mean, the whole song is my favorite, but if I had to pick a favorite part, it would be the outro where he says, standing in your kindergarten, standing in your cardigan, kissing in my car again, stopped at a street light, you know I miss you. So track number 15 is called Peace. I think it's Taylor speaking to Joe about how they can never be at peace. I hate sunlight. They will always have someone, some sort of media, paparazzi, even fans, the internet invading them. Does anyone get a sense of anxiety from the song? Like, you know, that doot, 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 doot. It sounds like a Geiger counter, but it reminds me a lot of the production of The Archer, which Taylor specifically wrote it that way so you could kind of feel what you could feel the anxiety Taylor was feeling. And also, Give You a Child. Taylor, what? Do you have a news you want to share? Is something going on? I don't think Taylor's like actually pregnant or anything, because it's just a metaphor saying that like, I want to give you a child, I want to have a baby with you. Clowns to the West, anyone? My favorite lyric, I think, is the first line of the chorus, which goes, I'm a fire and I'll keep your brittle heart warm. So, our last track of Taylor Swift's new album, that was finished. No! It's about a toxic relationship that you crave. He ruins her every plan to get out as well. My best laid plan, your sleight of hand. My barren land, I'm ash from your fire. So my favorite lyric is, you knew you won, so what's the point of keeping score? You knew it still hurts underneath my scars from when they pulled me apart. But what you did was just as dark. Also, there's a lyric about beating, like him beating her heart, which is obviously like him breaking her heart and hurting her over and over again. And also shade of blue, so it's kind of like beating her black and blue, which there's a lot of like physical violence imagery there, which is new when it comes to Taylor Swift's songwriting, but I liked this song nonetheless. I gave it 88%. So those are all my thoughts on Taylor Swift's new album. It's over now. I'm gonna go edit this and then I'm gonna go sleep. And the album as a whole is beautiful. It's beautifully produced. The stories are amazing. Her songwriting is amazing. Remember when you used to say that, oh, like we would love to have a whole like acoustic Taylor Swift album? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm obsessed with this album. I will have this on repeat for a long time. That's all I have to say. If you liked my video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about the songs and her album and the music video in the comment section. I post videos every weekend, so I will see you next weekend. Goodbye! Hello humans, welcome back to my channel. And God, while I was listening, I'm guessing that she got something for Sophie Turner and Jojo. Oh my god, look at this. Look at that.